Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male. Intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
All right, gentlemen, you all ready to get a little X-rated?
Oh wow! Why did it? Okay, why did it have to go from?
I mean, R-rated.
Why did it even have to go R-rated? It went from a wholesome conversation with a lot of information now to we're getting X-rated.
Y'all ready to get? Y'all ready to get freaking out?
My man said,
now that the kids are
he
gone.
said we going on demon time. Wow, he took the shirt off. I've been feeling fat.
Baby, that's my jam, man.
Yeah.
So
what's up, man? What you got for
what's
us?
really good, man?
I mean,
how's the world feeling?
I mean,
how's the world feeling? How's the world feeling right now? The world is in shambles. Man.
The world is in shambles.
The world is in shambles right now.
Chris, he be disconnected. He don't know nothing.
I don't be knowing about half
What are
this
you
crap.
talking about?
And then because I listen to other podcasts and people start talking about it, and then I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm. You know what's going
But
on.
we already talked about this kind of, so we don't have to go super deep into it.
I got some.
I mean, I know Steven, based on your post you put on Facebook.
Oh, you saw it?
I was like, okay, I guess Steven has something he want to say about this. But you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll just do the synopsis or a quick little highlight of what happened in the world. The Roe versus Wade situation that we were talking about.
Right.
I guess it got passed or so that more than half of the states within the country, they are banning abortion, and there's only like a select few states that will allow, that you can go to for abortion. And obviously, Texas is one of those, it's going to be one of those locations that's
right,
that's getting rid of abortion. Yeah. And so now you have a lot of people upset. There's even little mild protests in the Capitol. I mean, I say mild because I'm not there. I can only see what's being shown to me.
Yeah.
So it's basically protest people not happy with that result of abortions. Who are men to tell women what to do with their body?
Did women not vote on this?
Oh.
Yeah. Did women vote on this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's not.
So
I mean, a woman.
One woman.
One.
So it was one woman.
So she voted for.
Yes.
But there was other women who voted against.
Well,
so women
no.
voted.
So it was the Supreme Court who overturned it. So the Supreme Court, there's only
like 9 over.
No, 7 or no, I don't know. There's an odd number.
Okay.
So there's always
but there's more men than women.
Oh my God! Yeah, there's only one woman.
Oh, okay.
And I believe I'm not. Don't quote me on this. I don't follow that much. But she either said I'm not voting one way or the other, or she voted for it.
You can go neutral?
Yeah.
Doesn't that ruin the point of it being like an odd number? Someone can vote neutral.
I mean, once again, I mean, listen, I'm not. I don't follow as much as you think I do, but I know more than what you guys do. Like, just so, but I ain't in it. But yes, there was
in the trenches.
I ain't in the trenches, but there was a woman, and she did not say no. Okay. That's the thing. That's
is
the
it
most
like,
important.
does it have to be unanimous or
no?
It's just 51%.
Yeah, 51%. So it's so basically they overturned it. It's been in over for 50 years, which basically gave a federal mandate that says that states are not allowed to ban abortions. Period. Now what Texas has done and a few other southern states is they've said, well, you have to do it in under 6 weeks, which is like, I mean, basically by the time a woman even knows she's pregnant, she's past 6 weeks.
So it's not banned. They just put tighter restrictions.
Well,
or is that what it's always been?
No, that was Texas, and a few other states had 6 weeks. But now they have removed the federal covering umbrella. So and then you had 13 states that had what are called trigger laws. And the trigger was if Roe v. Wade was ever overturned, they had a law that would immediately go into place, that would then adjust the current law. Okay. And I think Missouri was the very first one that triggered. It was the same day. 3 states were same day. Other states, the other 13 or the other 10 states were over 30 days. And then some states had to do something. They had to actually put it through legislation, but there's 13 states that had a trigger. And then the biggest problem is that, well, not the biggest, but one of the major problem is that, a lot of people, I'll say men, have even, that are like, well, you know what, I don't like abortion, which I don't, and I think that we all agree that we don't. But in instances of emergency operations, rape, incest, things like that, crazy out of the box things, like obviously we're saying, well, we're not for that. But a lot of the states have banned even those. So even if you were raped, even if it was a product of an incest, even if it was an emergency procedure and it would put your health at risk, some states even said we don't care. So yeah, so they have completely banned it. About half of the country is suspected by the end of the year to actually ban it or to put some sort of ban on it. But silver lining, it does appear that you can go to a different state and to still get one. If you I say silver lining.
I'm gonna tell you what, the business-minded people, they're about to be booming. The states where it's allowed,
yeah,
people are gonna be flying in from everywhere.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
right. So here's my thing, and we talked about this, so we don't have to get super into it, but I want to bring up one little point for you guys. So once again, I guess I'm technically, if you want to put me in a category, I'm pro-choice, and the only reason for that is simply because I feel like there are things that there are times where it is important to have the option. I don't think that it should be the first option. If you're just negligent, then I mean that's on you. But I made a post, and it was basically saying that what this really does is this not only affects people that don't want to have children or someone that just wants an abortion, it actually affects everybody because it affects the care now of women. So let's say, for example, you have a woman who has an issue in her colon or, she has cancer, and there's a procedure that they need to do to help her. And if the procedure would essentially affect the fetus in any way, the fetal lining, it can, putting radiation in the body can affect the fetus, then they can't do the procedure. So, I mean, I think I used the instance of like a colonoscopy or, maybe a polyps in the colon. And depending on how pregnant you are and depending on where the baby is sitting, you can't particularly access the colon safely depending on what the problem is. And what that does is the doctor is going to say, well, I can't perform this procedure because it could potentially harm the baby. Abortion is illegal here. I'll lose my license. I'll get sued. I can get a felony just by a mistake, right? So then what will happen is that woman will have to then try to go full term, and even if it can put her at the risk of death, right? In certain states, then she's still couldn't get the procedure. Mm-hmm. So essentially, what can happen is that she could essentially die on the table trying to give the birth. The baby could essentially die because it wasn't cared for. The mom was already hurting anyway, and then of course, obviously, the man is just in trauma. So there are plenty of situations, and I know that they're like, well, there's exceptions for medical exceptions, but a lot of times those exceptions are very specific. And still, even the doctor is going to be the one that is going to have to make the call to say, well, do I even want to risk this? Because they're going to be the one that's actually in trouble, not the patient. So self-preservation always says, well, I'm going to put myself first. I'm not even going to risk this because it could put the baby at risk. I'm not even going to tell you about these options. So it doesn't just affect, and this is kind of where my point was, it doesn't just affect people saying, well, I don't want to have a baby, I'll get an abortion. You could be a Christian and you're pro-life and yada, 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 and this still affects you and the care of a woman your wife being pregnant. So that's what's your take on that?
In a situation where people are in these, I guess, not so common situations, like something's wrong with your body,
Right.
and you get cropped, or all these negative situations that we know, like, okay, let's just make the best moral decision over a law or whatever is put in place. I feel like that should take precedence, and I do understand why people would get frustrated in those situations.
Right.
Now, when it comes to people just getting irresponsibly pregnant or not meaning to get pregnant because of decisions they made, because of a choice they made, and saying, hey, you're getting rid of my option.
Right.
That I can't really be like, you're mad over that,
Yeah.
because you have that choice. And they I'm not sure, but they do have like those plan Bs still, right?
Yeah.
Now. Yeah, I did hear that they were going to do something about that. But plan B is typically like next day.
It's I believe it's within 3 days. So, but yeah, what they're doing is
Pull-out game been
that
strong
14th
for a
Amendment,
minute.
which is where the abortion fell under. They basically said, well, we need to look at these things also, which is contraceptives. So, basically condoms and Plan B, and then also same-sex marriage.
Well, what about people who get vasectomies? Will they get rid of that too?
I mean, I don't think so.
Since that's a form of birth control or something?
It certainly is.
It is, and I think that because we live in the society that we live in, I don't think that that's ever going to be a thing. I think that it's an option, obviously, right? It's a thing, but it's always going to be placed on the woman because you have all the men making those decisions, and then the one woman that's on the she's in there, she's not even like, no, we're not doing this.
I personally, honestly, do not understand why people get so upset about this.
Well,
Like, I know people are so attached to this, and I feel like a lot of people are more reactive than actually upset about it. Maybe, yes, they're probably upset. Things didn't, like, they're mad for other people, but it doesn't affect them. So they're being reactive to other people's anger. And I don't know. I feel like this is way bigger. I feel like it's smaller as far as the uproar than what's being portrayed out there. Because everyone will have an opinion on it, but they're not actively going through or planning, or they're not even conscious of a lot of these actions until the information is being brought to them, and now they're just upset over it. So I don't know. Like, I understand, I'm a woman and whatever, and you want to make sure you're not allowing people to tell you what to do with your life. I don't think that's exclusive to women. That's just people in general. I feel you shouldn't want everyone to just tell you what to do. But, going forward, I guess people are going to have to be more responsible. People are just going to have to pull out now. Don't stay in.
Well, they would say that's that's on the man.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm like torn between the situation because I care and then I don't care, because I'm not going to allow, like, the reason why people are so angry and upset is because they're allowing this governing body to dictate their emotions on things. If they weren't so tied in, this is the only way, since this is our government and they're trusting in the country to do the right thing, and it's just like, once you get invested in that and then they do something that's not going to go the way that you want, you immediately going to be upset. So I feel like if we stop investing our energy into that, then we won't be so upset over their decisions, and then we can consciously think like, okay, whatever. This is, because I'm thinking about it. If I put myself in a situation, I'm thinking like, okay, what can I do to make the situation best for me? What can I do? And being in that situation, you're only being emotionally affected. Yes, these scenarios do happen, but we come from the hood. If you want something done, you will find a way. You will find a way to get it done. You know, probably won't be as easy, but if you want to get it done, you'll get it done.
I think that there's a lot of complications that happen more than I think that maybe you realize. And it's and I'm not the issue, and I agree with I agree with a lot of what you're saying. But then there's of course parts that I don't agree with, and it's not really. I think that yes, I think people are of course outraged, and a lot of it they're not in the situation themselves, right? I get that, but for me, I see it from the future, like. Well, yeah, they may not be in it now, but this will affect, once again, their care moving forward. Like, this potentially, in a healthy relationship, for example, Noah, he was just sitting here. We almost had to have that conversation because my wife at the time, was having a very rough pregnancy. 2 months in, she had to quit her job, and she was on bed rest 2 months in because he was growing so fast and he was so large. Then he was actually hurting her. Like, so it got to the point where we were almost 5 months in, we were kind of having that conversation like, hey, are you going to be able to make this happen? Right. And what also it affects miscarriages. So it just happens. Right. Or an ectopic pregnancy where the baby gets stuck in the fallopian tube where, you know, once again, of course, a lot of this goes back to their health. What can we do to not have that happen? But I mean, if in that situation, then the answer to that is an abortion. And yes, some, not all states are saying that emergency situations are okay.
What did they do? Okay, before modern technology was a thing, what did they do in the days when we wouldn't say, hey, abortion is what we have to do?
I mean,
what did they do?
Women die giving birth all the time.
I know, I understand that.
Okay.
I mean, it's just part of life. You know, it happens. But I'm saying it's like we're so caught up on this abortion thing, and like I'm not sure how they do abortions.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not either. I'm not, but that's also where I'm trying to curve my stance on it, right?
Like, is it a shot or like I'm not knowledgeable.
It depends on how old the fetus is.
Because I know they can do pills.
They can also. There's a pill or a shot I think you could take, and then there's where they actually go in and they'll like literally suck the baby out. They can go in with like a vacuum cleaner or something, a tube, and they can suck the baby out. It breaks the baby's body up, whatever is there, and will suck them through this tube. And then when they're much older and more developed, I don't know.
I mean, but that's where my ignorance comes in.
I think sometimes they'll actually like kill the baby in the womb somehow, and then they'll have a stillbirth.
Yeah, like these are so what I was, because I've been doing research because I felt like like it's not that big of a deal, and then I started looking and I'm like, well, it doesn't just affect where my stance is. I have Stephen where he's like, well, I'm pro-life. I have children. Like, if you take responsibility for your actions, I got a hard stance there, right? Where my other place comes in is where, number one, I'm not a woman, and I don't understand female care. And as I've been getting to research, I've started to understand that miscarriages and abortions are actually taught in the same way. So when they teach miscarriages or they teach abortions, the OBGYN, they teach them together because they're very similar. They overlap a lot. So what's going to happen is that if they become, or in these states, if they remove half of the legality, then basically they're going to stop teaching abortions in these areas, right? And then over time, of course, a lot of those, those doctors and such will then be out of the field. And where they're concerned is that in the case of a miscarriage, when the woman is 5, 6, 7, 8 months in, they're not going to know how to care for them properly because they haven't been taught how to deal with these situations. So and once again, my biggest thing was just the caring for them properly, because the doctor basically saying, hey, I'm not sure if I can even do this procedure, and then not even give them the option because they want to make sure they cover their own butt. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it happens a lot more than I've had that conversation in the doctor's office. Like, hey, listen, we may have to explore some options. Like, it's a kind of an uncomfortable truth, right? Like,
Yeah, but
it happens.
But now you have to maneuver in a world where the laws are, saying you want to get an abortion.
Right.
It's going to be hard. So
yes, it sucks.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, yes, it sucks, but like sitting here, not us, but just in general, people posting on the internet, I hate pro-lifers. And when I see messages like, how can people be pro-life? It literally makes me question, like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you look at what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're angry at people because they're against the death of life.
60 million. That's the estimate or the number basically that has been killed from abortions since this happened. 60 million
Since Roe versus Wade.
Right. And then I was
Sure,
listening
that's low.
I was listening to Matt. I think it probably is because there's some that we don't know about, right? So then I was listening to Matt Walsh, and he was just like, because he's pro-life, and he was basically saying like, how? Because I never knew that number, and he was like, imagine 60 million. How would the landscape of the world look, of the United States look, if 60 million more people were here? It's not just more people, but athletes, entertainers, scientists, doctors, inventors. Like, how would our landscape look if we had 60 million more, or those births even happen, right? Because everyone's not going to make it, but if at least it happened. And I was just like, I never thought of that, And I guess for me, I'm trying to understand, right? And I'm researching for clarity, so that way I can be intelligent about how I genuinely feel, and then also be empathetic, because it really doesn't affect me, in the sense of I don't intend on intend on having children anytime soon, if at all, anymore. And so it may never affect me at all, but I can be empathetic because I understand that this can and will affect other women.
Yeah, whatever affects people, I feel that. It's just when I see people, anytime there's like a big uproar, outrage, it makes me question, like,
I feel you.
Like, what is really happening here? Because yes, I understand people are emotionally connected to it, but all I see is more division.
And a lot of man bashing, just like
it's just more hate being spread, more disagreement, more men can't tell, and all that does is create division.
I don't like any of that.
And when we're divided, what we do, we're more we're easier to control once we're divided. So it just makes me question, and I don't know if I'm sounding like I'm a heartless dude right now. I don't. I know I can come off like that, but
I know you care.
And I definitely care about the situation as far as like people feeling like they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, stop allowing that, which has been consistently throughout years, controlling our emotions. Stop allowing that to affect you so much.
I agree.
Like, yes, I want people to, at the end of the day, my stance. So there's just clarity. My stance is whatever makes the woman the happiest. As far as what they say in every marriage,
happy wife, happy wife, happy life.
A simp made up that saying.
Yeah, he must have.
Don't repeat that.
Chris like, a simp made up that.
Don't repeat.
But in this particular situation, guys voting to say this, okay. But I would say, what about abortion? I mean, sorry, not abortion. What about adoption? Like, is that not an option? Like, it's like, yes, you didn't want to have this child, but okay, let's give it up for adoption,
Right.
And that's just, I mean, I haven't, in any of the circumstances or scenarios that people have been talking about online or that I've been seeing in the social media, no one's ever mentioned adoption. People's only been talking about abortion, and we can't kill the kids, we can't kill the babies, we can't do this. That's all I hear.
And that's where you have this left versus right, Republican versus Democrat, where they're like, well, Republicans only want, they love babies before they're born, but then after they're born, then they don't take care of them. It's all BS, man. You know, and then not just that, and I don't have a lot of knowledge on this because I just saw it 2 days ago and I didn't research it. But they also slid in a couple other things while they did this. So
As far as what, bills or something, laws being passed.
Yes. So they also made it easier for guns to be purchased. I don't know the.
They made it easier.
Yes.
How can it be easier than it already is now to get it done?
So they made it easier.
Or you can be under 18.
So all this outcry, I didn't research it. I was too busy researching abortion. But that's what they wanted, right? So I don't know. Somebody let us know. We can look it up later. But they made it easier to purchase a gun, which after the shootings in Texas, everyone was like, gun laws. But then they just slid this in under the abortion. And then also, they did something, and I don't know particularly what they did, but now police don't have to particularly Mirandize you, so your Miranda rights, you can't use that as a way to get off of a crime anymore. Like, oh, they arrested me and didn't read me my Miranda rights because you know that.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, so now they've made it easier for police to basically get away with certain things in those type of situations where maybe there was wrongdoing. And they just kind of slipped them right in under the abortion. And it's just like, well, no one's even talking about it because they're all up in rage about the abortion. And of course, like anytime something like this happens, I know we always look at, okay, what's happening? Where's the actual, what are they actually doing? So something else to look into.
I don't look at any of it anymore. It's pointless.
It's like it's already happening. It is what it is.
It's like, okay, it's kind of like when you're watching a movie or a TV show and you're so engaged in the show that you feel like you're there with the characters. Yeah. So you're like, no, don't go that way. Don't do that. But yet you can't actually influence it. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what this is. Ooh. No one actually has any true influence over any of this stuff. So I'm very, I'm a problem solver, right? How do we solve this problem? Forget
personal responsibility,
the abortion, forget all of that stuff. When you talk about the mass majority of the cases where this is going to be like shady water, that's a very, very, very small amount. Most people want to have an abortion because they just don't want to take care of the child for whatever reason.
Keep it honest.
I don't know the exact number because nobody does, but I'm sure that's an enormous number compared to being raped, compared to
60 million is a lot.
You know, compared to all of the other situations. The health complications are probably another nice piece of it because that's very prevalent. So when it comes to people not wanting to take care of their responsibilities, well, there's not much we can do about that. That's your biology. You have sex, you come in a girl or whatever, you get pregnant. That's the biology. You know, in the natural world, you'd have a baby. So I think that people need to focus on solutions. So in the sense where, okay, my life is now on the line because I'm having this baby, that's a very simple solution. Be health oriented. Like before you're ever thinking of having a child or whatever, we need to shift to being health oriented. And if we're health oriented, that's not just physical health, it's the mental health as well, which means that this idea that you don't even want to have a child once you've conceived will go out the window. Right. Because healthy minded people aren't really going to be like, yeah, I just don't want to have it.
I don't want to give my body up yet. I've been working on this flat stomach.
Yeah, there's a lot of conditioning that we have been subjected to that cause us to have these ideas where we want to abort our children just because they're inconvenient. Like just our work week, for example, and women wanting to be in these positions where they're CEOs of companies or running their own businesses and getting the bag essentially. This idea that being a mother is not enough, and not to say that a woman should just believe that just being a mother is all I need to do. Right. No, but like there's women who take pride in that. Like, and there's women who want to do that, but they're being forced to believe that's not enough. Like it's okay to be a mom. Yeah. It's okay to take care of your children and raise your children and make sure that they're they're loved and their needs are met and things of that nature. But there's a lot of conditioning that women are subjected to that make you feel like, no, that's not enough.
Especially now.
Yes.
Because society has, I mean, I think that we can all agree that in today's today's generation, we're not saying that women, whatever, we're not trying to put conditions on women. You do whatever you want with your life, right? Do whatever you want, live your life, go. If you want to be a mother full time, fantastic, I support it. If you don't want to be a mother full time and you want to be a CEO of a company, fantastic, I support it. But do not do that because society is telling you or conditioning you to think that this is what you have to do. Because I personally think that, once again, I think that, because for years we've been saying that men or the masculine is under attack. Well, I think that slowly but surely, if we now start to look at society, the feminine is under attack. Like, femininity and what that genuinely means is actually the nurturing part of femininity, the loving, the caring part, the softness, the supportiveness of divine feminine energy is kind of going out of the window. And everybody is really, from social media, like, everybody's really trying to be masculine, trying to be a business owner, be an entrepreneur, do get the bag. I mean, it's just like, I watched a dude the other day and he was just like, do you guys know how hard that is? Like, to be a business owner, successful business owner, to be an entrepreneur, the level of stress, like, that's not easy. Why are we making people feel shamed, essentially, for working a job and just being the best person they can be? Everyone can't own a business, right? People have to work. So why are we shaming people or making them feel like they're less than for doing those things? Which is, once again, it's conditioning that we're being taught by social media, that, through the gig economy, all this stuff. And it's just like, no, we can be regular people, and having families is okay. Being a mother and a father, that's a good thing. We need those. So,
something that was in the same vein, not necessarily as that, I think we all would, I mean, if anyone who cares about this particular subject should just, I guess, do more knowledge, get more knowledge and do more research about this. Something that I listened to or found out recently is that, which is kind of in the same vein as this, Mark Cuban, he started a company where he's making a lot more he's making drugs a lot more inexpensive, like the drugs that
generic brands.
He's making
medication.
He's making the medication a lot more affordable, that originally would cost like thousands and thousands of dollars, things that heal or fix like leukemia or AIDS or all these high-end drugs. He's making it more affordable to, I guess, low-income people. So I was curious to know, what are your thoughts on that particularly? Obviously, we're looking at the healthier side of things, and so we're not necessarily going to be for it, but I think it's an okay thing, for people who are, I guess, who rely on modern medicine to be their cure-all for situations. It's not anything that I'll stand behind, like, yes, let's get more of this medicine out there to the people, because a lot of that medicine that they are using, it's usually like a hit and miss. Like, sometimes they're trying out different pills, and sometimes it doesn't even work as intended, and it has this big old high price on it, and it still doesn't give you exactly what it said it would. But if it'll give someone some kind of comfort, or if it actually works for them in this situation, I'm cool with that. Obviously I'd definitely promote that. I'd promote and be like, hey, you need to start working out that medicine out your body and start getting some, stop putting stuff in your body and just fast, drink some water, get some fruit in your body,
get some sea moss in you.
Get some sea moss, get them natural things, So yeah, that's my stance on that. What are your thoughts and how do y'all feel about that? We'll start with Chris.
okay, from a standpoint of someone doing something that they feel is going to help people, sure, it's great, but making drugs more accessible to me is not a solution to any problem.
Go ahead, hit him with the conspiracy theory.
No, it's no conspiracy. It's just
Yeah, I'm saying this ain't a conspiracy.
joking.
This is
It's-
literally just.
like Mark Cuban is not one of them billionaires that is on my radar. As far like he's not like a Bill Gates or Elon Musk or anything. He's not on my radar. I almost genuinely believe, and I could be being naive, but I almost genuinely believe that
You think he's
he
doing it?
built his wealth based on the .com boom, right? PayPal or whatever he sold, eBay, whatever it was he sold, and he just made it. And he's just one of them guys. He bought a basketball team, and he's enjoying life, and he's, he wants to give back and do whatever, make life easier for other people. So that could be true. But with that being said, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around, even to agree with you, Mel, and say, well, if it's helping people, no, it never does. None of this helps anybody. And Mark Cuban is very much against anything natural. He's very much against. If you've ever watched Shark Tank, and somebody comes on with a product, service, device, whatever, that is some sort of natural thing, he instantly rips them to shreds without listening to them at all. So Mark Cuban is very ignorant when it comes to healing. He knows nothing about it, has zero interest in it, which is why I'm not surprised that he would do something like this. And it may be built off of a genuine belief that doesn't work. He just simply does. He does that. If it worked, we'd be doing it. That doesn't work. Why are y'all peddling snake oil? Like, that's his belief. So for that reason, I'm against Mark Cuban. For that reason, I'm out. But honestly, I don't see any benefit of this. I don't see, there's nothing good about this. Holistically speaking, it looks good. Oh, we're gonna give people access to drugs, diabetes medication and all this stuff. Or here's a thought: we could dump all that money into teaching people that what they're eating is giving them the diabetes in the first place. Like, I just can't get behind it, man.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that, because as soon as I heard that, I'm just like, eh. But then I think about the people that I encounter who aren't necessarily on a holistic wave. And,
Okay.
And all they see is, oh man, I'm just like, hey, if these people get some satisfaction or they feel I'm like, all right, cool. Because people ultimately, regardless of what we know and what we've experienced, no matter what we do, there're just some people it's not going to get through to unless they necessarily experience it for themselves. So that's why I say in that part, I'm okay with. I'm okay with that, but it's not anything that I'll promote.
I can't, because we're adults at this point. Like, if you have two ideologies, or you have the opportunity to look at two different paths, and you choose one path over the other, and you get opportunity to look at both paths. One path saying, look, you can change your experience by changing your what you eat and drinking more water and cutting back on alcohol and blah blah blah. And then there's this other path where you can just keep doing whatever you're doing, and you can medicate yourself and just slowly prolong death. And you choose that, then the outcomes are on you.
The outcomes are, but you have to. The thing is, those people would have to change the way that change their biased information and be willing to accept that. And regardless,
Well, Mark Cuban is reinforcing that bias.
Yeah.
And so this is what I'm saying. Like, you can say, okay, people, they're gonna choose this and da-da-da. Yeah, that's because that's what they've been taught is the best way.
Yeah.
It's not that most people want to just kill themselves slowly. It's that they've been taught, just like Mark Cuban, that this snake oil stuff doesn't work. So when you have people with massive amounts of resources, ungodly amounts of resources like that, and they're just further perpetuating this ideology that the mainstream medical practice knows what they're doing, and this is the way you should go when you have cancer and diabetes and whatever, then I can't get behind it, because then, okay, it's literally always going to continue moving that direction, because nobody with any true resources or influence is going to go the opposite way. Like, what we need is Mark Cuban and Jay-Z and whoever else you could think of for whatever culture to be like, you know what, this is not healthy. You know what I'm saying? To be more like a Waka Flocka, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
And teach, okay, we need to start, why doesn't Mark Cuban, right, if he really can't.
But he doesn't know any better.
Maybe he doesn't. He has a very strong stance against it for a reason, though. So why don't somebody, instead of saying, oh, let's give cheaper medication to people, why don't we start buy some land and create some farms, like in the inner cities?
Bill Gates got all the land.
It'd be easy to take some real estate, take a block. Like, dude, think about it. You take a block of real estate, it could be destitute. It could just be trash real estate. Get rid of it, tear the buildings down, ship all the concrete away, put some dirt there, and plant, and make it a community garden for that community. Like, if you talk about actually helping people as far as like their disease and stuff, that's infinitely better. And not just plant it and just leave it there so people can come and trash it. Like, protect it. Plant it, protect it, create jobs around it, like a economy around it. And we could literally do that all around. The amount of money he spent doing this business or whatever, who knows how many of those gardens he could create for communities. So no, I don't know. I'm not, that doesn't, no. And if for example, Fauci, people trust Fauci for whatever reason, okay? If people like Fauci would actually say, hey, you know what, guys? You have two options. You could take these drugs, and that will treat your symptoms. It'll essentially allow you can make no changes in your life, and it'll ease your pain. Or you could actually like reverse this. You could heal by going this other route. I know what you're gonna say. It'll never happen.
No, I'm saying it sounds good. It sounds really good. And it's not that it'll never happen. It's just based on the experience that I've had with people. A lot of people would choose the modern medicine versus.
So then why do I have to have sympathy for them?
You don't necessarily have to have sympathy.
Let the natural selection.
That is the result of what we're seeing in the world now. We see all these obese people. They're still eating. They know everything that they're eating is making them obese. But hey, I'm still going to take this medicine. They're still doing this. And I'm sure they know, or if they're introduced to people who have these healthier they have a healthy alternative, to these. I mean, because there was someone who posted recently in the group. I'm not necessarily going to say it, but I was reading whatever post that was posted, and I was just like, really, and this is supposed to be someone who's in who's on a healthier path, but it is what it is. But, so that's the only reason why, like, yes, it's great to have this optimistic mindset. I'm very optimistic, but when it comes to other human beings and their beliefs and their bias, I'm not going to be optimistic towards that, because you couldn't tell me Goku ain't that dude, because I'm biased towards what I feel about Goku. Right. I'm going to stick like Vegeta's better. No, Goku's that dude. No, I'm going to stick with this because I'm so emotionally connected, and I have this feeling, and no matter what you say or do is going to change that. That's just how people are when it comes to their things, So if someone comes out with something, like if I was part of the modern society and I subscribed to every medicine, and someone came out with a cheaper medicine, I'd be like, hey, you know what? If this is your life, salute to you. I don't necessarily agree with that, but this is the path you take. Salute okay, great. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is good. Yeah, no. It's never gonna be a point to say it's good, but
my thing is education. Because you say that, you have all these obese people running around and they're still eating and they know that it's making them obese. But the reality is they don't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe
Some.
I don't agree in the sense that people, if you sat down 100 people with major diseases or ailments or just obesity, and you said 100% the what you're eating is causing your obesity. 100%. We've done the studies. We know 100% that if you change what you're eating within 1 year, you'll have X result, whatever that thing is. You might be thinking, well, 90% or 80% of people are still going to continue doing what they're doing. I think it's more like 60-40. I think 60% of people will keep doing what they're doing, and 40% will be like, oh, well, I'll change because I've been trying to do this anyway, right? Because a lot of people, they just don't know if what you're saying is going to work. So because they don't know that what you're saying is going to work, or they've, because they've heard some misinformation, they think, well, it may work for some people. But if you could tell somebody, like, if we just created a scenario, you have the top scientists in the world or whatever, and they're like, no, this is 100% of the time. We have done these tests, so 100%, you change your diet, you take these things out, you put these things in, you'll over the span of a year, you'll be a healthy weight. I think 40% of people will do it without even a question.
So
I don't.
just to give my little bit, because I think you guys have, kind of really hit on a lot. I honestly think that, as Mel said, for people that subscribe to that way of life, if someone is set in their head and they say, well, I'm going to take insulin for the remainder of my life, and that's what I'm going to do because that's what I've been told, and I don't want to change the way I eat, and I have to pay for it. If instead of paying $100 a month, if I can pay $30 a month for that person and their families, if they were going to do it anyway, that's a benefit, right? They're paying $70 less. It's a benefit. I don't think that Mark Cuban is doing it because he's trying to save the world. I mean, just imagine if you're not in that world anyway, and we understand that there's like 1,000%, like if the pill costs $1,
Markup.
right? There's like 1,000% markup on these pills. He's still marking it up. It's
He
just-
even said it.
yeah, I think it's 30% or whatever. There's a markup on it, but it's way less. So he's still making money. So let's not think that he's doing it to benefit the people. He's breaking into a market and say, well, I'm going to take a little chunk of this.
He's making a red ocean, a blue ocean, and a red ocean.
There you go. He's just going to take a chunk. Like, here you go. And I'm sure there's stipulations, whatever. Is it a good thing? Holistically, no, it's not. Because, of course, it further ingrains medication to people, and then it makes it even more accessible to
So
people.
people are less likely to.
Right.
It's actually a bad thing.
I see both sides of this.
It's actually a bad thing. Honestly,
I see both sides of this.
Because you have to think about the conspiracy part of it too. Like, why are you going to make these drugs less expensive? It
just
makes
like-
it more accessible
It's
to
just
more
like taking.
people.
It's
That's
just
more
like
damage
taking.
that's
It's like
happening to the
taking
community.
coke, like because they are drugs, right? So let's take cocaine or heroin or whatever. They're drugs, and let's say that those drugs. Let's say cocaine is treating mental illness, because a lot of times people that are taking cocaine are stressed, right? They are dealing with something emotionally that they cannot handle, so they're using a drug to cope with that. So we can use, this is a really good example. So let's say that they're taking drugs to then cope with a mental illness or to cope with something that they are struggling with. And then now we, of course, make that drug more accessible. It's cheaper, right? Of course, they have the risk of overdosing. They have the risk of now hurting themselves further and now having to use more medication because, right, they have these gateway drugs. You start smoking weed and all of a sudden you're shooting up heroin in your bathroom, right?
Repeating that.
Right, I know, it's crazy. But a lot of times with people that do use hard drugs, they don't just use one. They then start to use other ones. And it's the same thing in medication. When we talk about drugs, they start you on one, right? You go in for high blood pressure. Now you're taking high blood pressure meds. Then they check your A1C, right? Now you're taking medication for your, metformin. You're taking medication for diabetes. Now over the next 2 years, you're taking medication for your cholesterol, right? You start with one, and then now all of a sudden you're on more. So yeah, it makes it more accessible, and it gives you a greater opportunity to take more. Because the doctor is like, well, listen, we got this other medication. Yeah, just take this, this, and this. Were you a little overweight? There's this medication now. It used to be $500. Now it's only $50, and it'll help you lose weight. It's a pill, right? Now you can. So I can see how it can be very damaging. But if you're just looking at it from a clean eye, right, not being biased, if you subscribe to that world anyway, I can see how it can be a benefit to you as well. So,
because it further.
I understand that.
So it's not a clean eye, because if
you understand the concept,
you don't agree with it.
More people are exposed to it now.
I agree with you.
It's not better.
But do you
understand
what I'm saying? His concept I
understand from a standpoint of it being cheaper.
If I'm a diabetic and we know these people.
Well, just switch it. Don't even put it on that. Just think of a healthier way. If you live a healthier life and all that, but you eat organic, you don't eat organic food, but you eat regular, you just eat fruit, vegetables, and all this stuff, but you don't necessarily eat organic food in your diet. But this is all you are stuck on. You're not, taking medicine or anything, but you're still just doing this. But you're just biased to this way of life, and you won't do anything that's organic. If you're just going to do it anyway, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything that you necessarily support. You don't have to be behind it. But if there's literally nothing that this human is going to do, maybe just think about someone who's in your family, which probably be a little bit more emotional connection. You'd probably be more stubborn about it. But this is their life. This is all they're going to do, no matter how much you've taught them, no matter how much research they see. They see that, okay, if you live healthier, but they don't want to live that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And this option is available to them. It sucks. But for this person's life, it's better for them because they're not even thinking about living a healthier life in general.
I'm thinking about their children, though. Like, I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about the ramifications of making medication more broadly accessible and highlighting it as the option. Like, 200 years ago, it's a completely different beast. Doctors came to your house. They would use natural remedies and things of that nature. And now it's normal for people to have a container that says Monday through Sunday with all their pills in it.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not. It's not.
But that's their
lifestyle.
lifestyle.
That any of us are disagreeing.
We're not.
With that.
I'm not at all.
What we're saying.
What are y'all? What are y'all? What's the brass tacks?
We're saying that if I have a human who says contain this
You're
situation,
compartmentalizing one person.
Yes. I have a human that says I'm going to take these 3 medications for the rest of my life. I don't want to eat kale and quinoa. I don't want to stop eating meat. I don't want to fast. Yeah. I don't want to do these things.
And they know the benefit of these things.
Sure.
They have the knowledge.
They've seen it in front of them. Let's say they have a son who has a business and has healed thousands of people. And they do not plan to make a change ever, no matter what they see, no matter what. If you are able to then say, well, I'm going to then take the price of your medication down 50%, that is a benefit for that one singular person, not his children, not his grandchildren, not generations. That person, financially, that is a benefit to that person.
Okay.
That's
that's not the world we live in.
I understand that.
So why are we talking about that?
That's not what we're saying.
Okay, it's a benefit to that one
It's
person.
a benefit to certain people that live
But
that way,
people
and
are
there
like that.
are yes, there are.
but you can't. What you can't do is erase the impact it has on the greater whole.
We're not.
We're
not at
not
all.
saying that.
Not
We're
at
just
all.
saying-
We're
so when
simply
you-
saying that it's better for that person,
that person.
There's a lot of
financially.
situations where it's better for that person. It's
Yeah.
better. It's better for an individual person who is experiencing extreme withdrawal symptoms from coming off of a hard drug to have that hard drug in their system.
Right.
That's a benefit. So, but it's not a benefit though. Like,
But that's the life. Like, it's not beneficial in the sense that it's doing something good for you. But that's just their lifestyle. They're stuck in the stubborn. Like, at times, I'm stubborn about particular situations, and I'm like, nope, ain't nothing gonna change my mind about it. I'm just what I'm gonna do.
yeah, we know.
So
that
it's
you're a
just like
master of
that. It's literally just like that.
Well,
being
I think
stubborn in a
that when
situation.
people are stubborn like that, they open themselves up to be taken advantage of, and then that's on them if they do. So if the medication costs more, because let's be honest, why is the medication so much anyway? Because people allow themselves to be taken advantage
Because they're
of.
told that you need this to save your life. They're told
Right.
by doctors who get kickbacks. They're told by the system.
Right. So
that-
they're not taking responsibility for their own health. They're allowing a doctor to manipulate them and take advantage of them, and therefore that's why you can charge
I
them.
mean, overall, right? If you're looking at it once again holistically, which we do like to look at things, I mean, obviously, education is going to be the best thing because a lot of what people deal with, they can wean themselves or completely stop medication and just make some simple changes. And if they do that, I mean, we've helped people do that. I've helped people. We've all helped people do that to actually stop taking certain things and to further their health simply by changing certain things in their diet. And it doesn't take much. So,
And I know there's going to be those people out there that's like, well, what about people who've had their thyroid removed and now they have to take hormone therapy and all this other stuff? Listen, my thing is there's a natural route for everything. So it's hard for me to be like, well, I get it. Yes, people are on medication. They feel like they have to take it. They don't have the knowledge. That's why my goal is to educate people as much as I can and learn along the way. So for people who just simply don't have the knowledge, they think this is the only way. I get it.
yeah.
But the scenario that we created was, no, somebody has the option. They know they have an option. They're just choosing. They're just being stubborn and they're choosing. I don't have any sympathy for them.
Well, I don't think we were saying sympathy. We were just simply saying
Like,
that
if you want to charge them 1,000%, charge them 1,000%.
Right. I'm not saying that it was we were saying have sympathy. I think that it was just simply saying, can you see this little thing as a benefit?
you can just understand.
Yes.
You
Put
understand.
yourself in someone's shoes.
Yes, I can see microcosms where it's a benefit. Yes.
Right, okay. But we all agree that it's not overall holistically a benefit, and it's not something that he's doing to just be a good guy. It's a business.
Got to make that money.
I mean, he's a billionaire for a reason.
That's America,
right?
That's
Like,
literally the epitome of America, making profit off of
People's pain.
And you know what? The interesting thing is that there's a very good chance, because other people probably thought about that, right? So there's a very good chance that you have a large company who then said, well, we'll just make you the front man. And instead of you have company A and company B, and you have doctors say, well, I'll recommend this company, I'll recommend that product, but they're the same thing. And then now you have, well, this one's less, but it's owned by company A. It's just like Lexus and Toyota, right? So they change the name of the car. They're made in the same facilities. They're owned by the same person. And a lot of the stuff actually goes into the same vehicle, but they change the pricing of it because they know that, well, this person's going to be able to afford the Toyota and this person will be able to afford the Lexus.
But they're the exact same thing.
But they're pretty much, yeah.
People have to be able
Lexus
to show.
and Toyota are they're pretty much the same. Yes.
I would have never known.
Yeah, I mean, you have higher ends, but they're owned by
A
the
lot
same
of the
company.
materials the same.
They're all
You got different options. Like you might not be able to get leather seats in the Toyota, but you can get it in Lexus.
Right.
That's not a true example, but that's just how.
Toyota's cheaper.
Yes.
Right. So it's a status thing. It's a way to show. It's a way to separate yourself from other people. I'm a doctor. I make $100,000 a year. I can afford the L400 or whatever it might be called. You are a bartender. You make $50,000 a year. Maybe you can only afford the Avalon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
But
it's
they're
just,
very
they're
similar.
very similar as far as
You may drive them. You're like, this feels the same, right? I mean, the engine, I mean, you have some of these high-end cars where they have BMW parts in them. Volkswagen, which I didn't know this till recently, owns like 5 different dealerships. Like they own multiple. They are a huge company. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, the Audis. I think the Audis have an engine. There's a Audi, the Audi SUV, the QRS8 or something. It's like a Q. It's a Q. It's a Q8 RS or something like that. Has the same engine as the Urus. Lamborghini.
Right. It's a Lamborghini.
You know?
So, I mean, a lot they change the names and stuff. It's smoke and mirrors, and we don't know. And even if we do know, it's just like, well, the status symbol says, well, I am this person. I make this much money. I got to get the Urus. But it's like, well, you can pay $200,000 less and get the Audi, and it's almost the exact same car.
It might be better.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Depending on
but
how you look at it.
but once again, you're paying for status. So it's the same
Cost
thing with the
benefit,
drug, right?
man.
You're getting the name brand. I mean, there's been times where I have paid for the name brand, and just because I'm like, I trust this more.
I do it all the time.
I trust.
I'm
this
a huge quality person. So even because sometimes you don't know if something's going to be more quality or not, but I do my best to find the quality.
Right.
If it costs more, I don't care. Like, you know, there's plenty of people that are still going to buy the generic, the name brand drugs because they're going to think that it's a better quality.
Yeah, they're better.
They do it with batteries too. It's like the Duracell, labeling is on the same battery as the generic alkaline battery.
Hey man, I be getting them Amazon batteries, bruh. They last. I put a pair of batteries in the Xbox because for other controller it doesn't have a battery pack in my other Xbox. I put regular batteries in it, and literally they play on them, and it lasted for like 2 weeks. Just regular AA batteries from Amazon, and I was just like, how do these last so long? And they play it. They leave the controller on, like it's always on. Like why would? And then you go to the store, you get 4. I was gonna get it was 6 AAAs. It was like $11, and then I bought them from Amazon for like 36. No, it was like 36, and it was like $10, and they last ridiculously long. Like, why would I pay for these Duracells anymore? Right? So that's conditioning.
The copper topper. I understand what y'all are saying, and I'm not, oblivious. There's some, obviously I work with people who are on medication. They're still on medication. They're trying to transition off medication. Most of these people have insurance anyway,
Right.
Because if you don't, you can't afford this stuff anyway.
Bro.
So you're paying the copay, you're paying, whatever. So it's not like they're really paying these. It's all a circle jerk between these companies and the way they got it all set up. It's so much to it. But I understand the lady, she's on a fixed income. The medications are too much for her. Her mind is set. Yeah, I can see where it's gonna be a relief. What's she gonna do with the money? Like you still gotta change. You still gotta change the mindset. Yeah. Because you're just giving people more resources to damage themselves more. It's not like people are gonna take that money and go invest it or do something good for themselves. Like they never did that before.
Man, they're gonna go out to eat more.
They're gonna go out to eat more. They're gonna drink more. They're gonna get more cigarettes. They're gonna do more of what's damaging. It's not like we have the wherewithal to do something positive with that $50 you're saving per month on your prescriptions. So it feels like it's a wash at the end of the day.
I feel you.
And that's why I'm fighting so hard against this ideology that there's any benefit of this, because it's just so bad holistically that it's like, no.
You're just saying it's so bad. It's like we can't, I'm not even trying to acknowledge
I
a little bit of positive that could.
No, I don't want to give an inch. I don't want people to find the silver lining in this. I want people to just be like.
I like to find silver linings in every situation. Everything isn't just, this is just darkness and evil.
But I know where you're coming
because
from.
I see the evil that's already there.
Ooh, evil.
I mean,
I wouldn't even call it evil.
It is evil. It's
no. I'm saying as far as him making the price.
Oh, what he's doing, no. But medicine being distributed like it's freaking, I don't know, air. It's not a good thing.
How many people are on medications? Y'all, this is the other piece. How many people are on medications that they don't even need to be on?
Exactly. My mom she was taking medication, and I'm just like, why are you still taking this medication? I said, you stop eating meat. You stop doing all this stuff. I said, stop taking your medication. I mean, she's eventually stopped.
Oh.
You know, but I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense. Just that people are
There you
trained
go.
in a particular way. They think that in order to lower my blood pressure, I have to take these lower my blood pressure pills. In order to, you know, get rid of my appetite, I have to take these pills instead of just not, you know, eating this stuff that makes me crave more. You know,
Good old MSG.
you know, a little MSG, a little Madison Square Garden in your diet. You know what I mean? Get rid of that. So,
Hey man, did you know, Mel? I think I told Chris. Did you know that you know what Sazón is, right? It's the Spanish seasoning comes in a little orange
Sasuke's-
packet. No, it's not anime.
Oh my god.
Sasuke. Not
I was thinking, as soon as you said Sassoon, I was
Sassoon.
like, that's like Sasuke's little thing that he has when he.
I
has
mean, there's a
Naruto.
very good
Itachi
chance that's
has
where
as
it
well.
came from. But Sazón is like a seasoning. It's made by Goya, I believe Goya, and a lot of Spanish people use Sazón to season their food with. You know, it's red, gives a lot of their. Okay, you're looking at me with. Okay, so Sazón is a very popular seasoning, and we talked about MSG and how MSG was basically, it's not illegal, but it's now known that this is not good, and it makes
It's not illegal in America.
It's not illegal in America, but it is illegal in a lot of countries.
A lot of stuff that's illegal in America or illegal in other countries are illegal
Correct.
in America.
Yeah, correct.
Guns.
But and MSG is one of them. But a lot of like Chinese restaurants and stuff used to use in their food all the time because it would make people eat more, and then that's why a lot
think
of
we
times
talked- we talked
we
about
talked
this.
about. Okay, that's MSG. So I didn't know. Recently, I found out is that because I was making rice and beans, and I went and got Sazón, and I looked at the packaging, and I'm like, the main ingredient is MSG, right? And I didn't even know. So they have even taken that ingredient because now people know it's bad, and they've just kind of like put it in things.
They remarket it.
Right. I mean, it's because
It's like
it used
toothpaste.
to be
They
MSG.
put
Like,
fluoride
here you
instead
go.
of-
But now they're like, oh no, people know. So they just repackage it. So a lot of people that like they'll go out to eat. Like this is why eating out is so bad because you have no idea what's in your food. Like you go out to eat, and almost any Mexican, Spanish restaurant that has it's a staple to their seasoning, at least in America, has MSG in it, which is crazy. Which is an addictive element, which is going to get you addicted to the food that you're eating. Isn't that crazy?
That is very crazy. Only thing I want to be addicted to
Is what?
is to my subscribers out there. Our subscribers, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to this episode of the Application
Oh, I
Knowledge
thought you were about to say
Podcast.
something was calling your name. What's that Drake song? Calling my name? It's calling my name.
Oh, I haven't heard his album because you know Chris Brown album just came out.
Well, you've heard the Drake album.
I heard it, but I've been listening to Chris Brown, so like that song's out of my mind right now.
Really? That
Yeah.
song?
Chris Brown, man,
I haven't heard it yet. It's a banger.
that dude is man.
Did he
he got
kill
this
Drake?
song, huh?
Did he kill Drake?
I
Did
know-
he do that on purpose, you think?
What? Did he do what on
You
purpose?
think he dropped it right after Drake on purpose?
They're not even in the,
No,
supposed to
what
be in
do
the same genre.
What do you mean? Chris Brown announced his album
Well,
date
you know
a
what I'm
month
saying?
ago.
You know, the people,
He released his album date a month ago. Drake surprised everyone.
Oh.
Just like Beyonce has a release date.
Yeah.
Chris Brown had a release date. Drake just popped up one day like, all right, I'm dropping an album, and literally just dropped it.
No one, because somebody posted, I'm like, is this like an EP? He dropped like a couple songs? Like, no, he's got a whole album. I said,
Whole
what?
dance
Drake?
album.
Drake?
It's a nice album, though. I like his album. Chris Brown album's nice, man.
It's fire.
Man,
How many
he-
songs on it?
28. Or 24.
He
24.
goes hard. He always doing
Didn't
that.
he do that before?
Yeah.
With like a 2-disc album or something? Or was that Chris Brown?
Yeah, Chris
Yeah,
Brown. His
Chris
last
Brown, yeah.
3 albums had over 20 songs. First album
And
had like
a
30.
lot of them are good?
75% of the songs are good.
Really?
Like, I could see if they were just okay.
Yeah, 'cause you know
But
you get an
no,
album
these
that
albums
big.
are good.
You get an album that big, you got a lot of garbage on there usually. Just
Depending on who the artist.
right. I'm
But
just
because if
saying.
it was Michael Jackson, it would probably be good. If it
Right.
Chris Brown, I'm telling you, man. Like if he didn't have that little stain,
he's got a stain on him.
If he didn't have just that little one stain, I swear he would be on that level.
Wait, is it one stain?
Is it just the
Rihanna?
Rihanna?
Is Rihanna what started it, or because he now has he's come off now
culture.
as a there's a pattern.
He's built a culture.
Not a pattern of like hitting women, but just
Bad boy.
he's a bad boy. He does
Hitting-
drugs. He kind of just he's in the party scene like.
Yeah, but he had a child, so he
I didn't know that.
he has like multiple kids. So obviously slows it down, but
But it's too late, isn't it?
that image is stained. Once you have that image of you abuse you hit a dude or you hit a woman,
He's always gonna.
that's something that's tough to come back from it. He's managed to come back from it,
Yeah.
but it's still some people who just like I would never support him.
Yeah. I get it.
So but his music, man, it's literally like they even had this discussion. Actually, that's a curious. Maybe you heard about that. They had a discussion, and they said Chris Brown is more talented than Michael Jackson.
Ooh.
And I agree.
I mean, to be honest with you, we should see someone more talented than Michael Jackson come after Michael Jackson.
Obviously, right? We're supposed to grow.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, a lot of, and I think Chris Brown said this, a lot of Michael Jackson majorly influenced him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, most people get that confused with music because when you think musically or performing, Michael Jackson is the cream of the crop.
Okay.
And obviously Beyonce, she's good, and Chris Brown, he's good. But no one is going to be able to reach that plateau. But when you speak about talent, that's broad.
You're talking about raw,
because Chris Brown can paint. Like his artwork is insane.
Okay, so we're talking
And
about
he can hoop.
holistically his.
And he can dance.
He could
Like
dance.
he dance. Like his dance. He loves. If you go on his Instagram, all he does is post videos of other people dancing because he likes to keep the dance community alive. Because a lot of people, they aren't making videos with a lot of dancers in them now. But he wants to.
Twerking.
Yeah, or doing these TikTok dances.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
yeah, so
Interesting.
I'm just like Chris Brown. Like when you think about it, he's just like one of those geniuses. Like once you
Like
do
when
something,
you canon,
like it may take a common person 6 months to a year to perfect something, but it only take them a week or two once they understand how it.
Like the mechanics of it.
Yeah, and that's how geniuses. I mean, that's how I see Chris in a certain light when it comes to like different particular things.
Yeah.
Like even in other friends, like I feel like people they have this thing that it's like it's easy to them, but other people they just like, yo, how in the hell is he able to do this? And Chris Brown, he's just able to pick that stuff up. That's why it shows in his music.
Yeah.
The diversity in his music, man. Like you would think like, oh man, these songs sound the same. All are different energy, different vibes, different moods. I'm just like, because I remember me and John, we was going skating a while back, and like because we used to go skating like every 2 times a week, and we would go skating listening to that Chris Brown, his previous album. I'm just like, yo, he killing this. We just both be rocking out like So yeah, man, check out Chris Breezy
I'm
album.
gonna have to.
It's called Breezy.
I literally just heard about it like 2 days ago.
And he got this song on there. It's called Forbidden. It gives me like Michael Jackson vibes, and I love Michael. So
Start listening to it.
yeah, I mean, I know Chris ain't gonna listen to it because he don't listen to music.
Right. I mean, I listen to it though.
Yeah, I mean,
I listen to acoustic guitar, Spanish guitar. I found a lo-fi channel on YouTube that I like recently.
Oh, okay. So you've been listening to frequencies now.
You you really haven't been in the car with me, so.
No,
Steve, have you? No, not really.
I have not. No.
I think the only time I've been in your car is when we went on that trip.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, John got me hooked on Spanish guitar, and I envisioned, I was like, when I get my new car, that's what I'm gonna be rocking. I'm gonna be rocking, get the 3D sound.
All Spanish guitar with
all
that bass, all them speakers.
You know I don't care about
I
that.
know you don't.
I think I'm past that. Kinda.
We've been past that point.
Because sometimes I be having the urge to just go through the hood. I ain't even from a hood out here. I just be want to drive through the hood to my
Just
bass.
some
I like my beat down low. You know what I mean? That type vibe. Just that vibe.
It's like how every once in a while I used to want a little fried chicken.
Yeah.
Every once so I'd be like, bro, I need to get some fried chicken.
Bro, yeah,
haven't
same.
had no
I
fried
be,
chicken.
dude, because I be seeing people eat. Cause I haven't even had. I had chicken in years, so it's just like thinking about KFC. I'm just like, man, that stuff used to be so good. I mean,
trifling
it's
now.
horrible for you, but
No, it tastes trifling now.
I haven't. I can't even remember how it tastes.
I've had it more recently
The
than
buns,
you.
though. Yeah. Oh, you had.
I've
it.
had, yeah. I mean, you know,
I mean, I was eating chicken even more recently than both of you, and I still was just like, nah.
It's trifling,
Like it
right?
was like because I stopped eating meat and then I started again and then I'd stop again. And the first time I stopped eating is because Chris was like, nah, you need to stop eating meat, and I was like, all right, cool, but I didn't really want to. So then I started like a year later, and then
He's like that stubborn person about
Oh,
taking the
very
medicine.
He's a
right?
he's a
But
tough.
I listened and I said, well, I'm gonna do it because I trust Chris, but I didn't really want to. But then when I made the decision myself, like it was easy for me to give up certain things, but chicken, particularly fried chicken.
Do you
and-
think you're genetically predisposed to chicken, to liking chicken?
I think it's because no, it's not my genetic predisposition. It is my conditioning, as in what we ate growing up.
What about watermelon? Do you think you genetically?
You know, the interesting thing is that I recently just started to like watermelon because I did not eat it because of the stigma that all black people like watermelon.
That was okay.
So I particularly said, well, I'm not eating watermelon.
I never liked watermelon because it had so many seeds in it. I was like, I don't like this. This is
Isn't it
annoying.
crazy
They
how
fixed
years
it.
ago we used to
fixed
be
it.
upset
They fixed
that
it.
watermelon had all these seeds, and now I'm like searching for it. It's just like, dang. Back in the day,
that's
we
wild.
had it, and now
There was no such thing as organic and conventional. It was just natural fruit.
right.
Yeah.
And it's,
So
and it's
crazy.
close enough for us to even remember. That's how quickly they changed it.
Yeah.
We're the only country who has like we have to put labels like it's
Wait, other
organic.
countries don't do that?
No,
Stop.
because it's natural there, baby.
We're trash.
You know what I mean,
United States is an experiment.
We're trash.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Truman Show.
like what is our language here? Like what is the United States language?
English.
which
Because
is
if
even
you go
harder.
to China, you speak Chinese.
and they have
If you go to
dialects,
Japan, you speak Japanese.
why don't we speak United States?
What is
Because we took
the
our-
U.S.
we
language?
Took our, we took our language
What
from
is-
Britain.
From the Europe.
Everything about the United States is stolen, or it's just taken.
Yeah.
It's like a big old melting pot, but racist
Man,
or
they-
corrupt in a
Somebody
sense.
said the United States is ghetto. There's ghetto here. We're going downhill. Everything is going downhill. We ain't been around but for 200 something years, and we're up here running the world and pretending to run the world
don't run no
like
world.
we've been
Shit,
around.
China
China
about
been
to-
around for I mean
Nah.
centuries.
They
We don't even know how long they've been around.
people think the United States is so great, and the rest of the world makes fun of us.
Bro, they
We're like
look
Trump.
propaganda.
We're like Trump.
Bro, Trump is literally the epitome of America, or how people view us in
People
America.
look at us like y'all. They are stupid. Like y'all, those dumb Americans, yada da da. And it's just like, I mean, they look at us with Biden. It's just like, bro, look at him. Why would y'all elect him to run your country?
Like, if you think about that, someone to represent you throughout the entire world, you pick the sleepiest
like,
dude.
This is the best. This is the best you got.
Right.
The
yeah.
sleepy, like you supposed to bring
Yeah.
this dude just sleeping, like, yeah, you know, we're gonna die.
Like
Yeah.
This
No,
is your country?
Yeah.
This is your leader?
People need to
this,
look from
whose
the outside.
man's is this?
Like, whose man
People,
is this?
people genuinely need to look from the outside in on America. Americans have been conditioned to look from the inside out. You need to go from the outside and look in on America to see how ridiculous this country is. A lot of people aren't traveling. Like when you look at other countries, they're traveling.
They travel a lot.
all the time.
They travel a
They're
lot.
learning about other cultures. We don't.
No.
We're here, or we might go on vacation.
Right.
But that's just we're going to the tourist spots. They're catering
Yeah.
to Americans.
We're not going to understand the culture and to understand who those people are.
No.
That's why I said I want to go to Germany, particularly Germany, right? And I have my own reasons, but like I want to learn. I the thirst for information. Like not just because I just want to go tour. Like I'm not going out there to drink and party. Like that's what we typically go do when we go travel, Americans. It's like, no, we need to go international
talk.
and see what's what are these people doing? How do these people live? Like,
because everything we know is through the lens of news and movies and outlets that are controlling the narrative.
Right.
And we don't know any better. That's why people think Africa's a third world country.
bro.
It's like, bro, first of all, it's a continent.
Right.
Second of all,
Someone in the comment section, they said, Asia's the biggest continent.
see, this is what I'm talking about.
And it's not.
Like, it's obviously Africa. It's
Oh, no.
obviously
Well, it's not
Africa.
obvious because they've changed the way that the maps
But
look.
if you do any kind of
If you do any research
at all,
you will know there are most of the continents can fit inside of Africa.
like it's ridiculous. You're talking about the richest as far as minerals and everything. It's the biggest. It's the most culturally diverse. It's the richest continent in the world. But we think it's a third world country.
And we say that and people think, oh, it's just because you guys are black. You guys all stick together. Like, no, they don't. We talked about this last week. They don't even mess with us. They don't. Africans look at us and they're like, no, I don't mess with y'all.
Well, they're taught not to as
Right.
well.
Like they don't no. We're not the same. So it's not like, oh, we're trying to stick together. They don't even mess with us. But we're still saying, listen, well, let's just look at it from what it is. And if you, as you said, if you do any kind of research,
They don't want to be put in the same pot as us, and I wouldn't either.
yeah.
Yeah, why would I want to be lumped in with
I
these?
would not
these
want to be lumped in.
cretins? Don't lump me in.
They don't
with
even
them.
know who they are. Why would we want to be lumped in with them?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, man, you got people from Kenya, man. They walk around with the Kenyan flag.
Right.
We talked about that, and I was somewhere, and I saw these 3 older white gentlemen walking, right, minding their own business. They had the American flag with them, big flag. They were just walking, like they're like that's their culture. Like this is their culture. Like that's their history. They're proud of that history, and it's just like we don't have that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like maybe I would want to. I want a flag. We should create one.
Yeah, healthy alternative. We got the flag.
Create a flag. Like, this is our flag. This is where we are.
I think people, traditionally would do like crests.
Yeah.
So my goal is to have.
Yeah,
I've talked to you about that. Right? Yeah, my goal is to create a family crest and bring that back. And I mean, we'll have to start from scratch, but okay, whatever. Who cares? I mean, we create. So, you know what I mean?
that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
Family crest.
yes.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? I mean, like, what is the crest? Like, what is it?
It's a symbol. Like, have you ever seen like in the ancient years they'd have the shield and they'd
Is
have
it like
they'd have a picture in it.
Is it
They
like
might have the
Sasuke
lions.
and Itachi? How they have the little?
It had to be anime.
Because that's
That's
how
how,
I,
that's how you process it.
that's how I can understand what you're talking about. I don't live in this world, man. But they have their emblem.
Yes.
That okay.
Yes. And when you see it, it represents something.
You know
there's a history, and there's also a status that comes with it.
Okay.
It's exactly what.
So
it
a family crest doesn't even necessarily need to be blood. It's just like, you're with us.
You're part of the gods
You're
now.
part of the family.
You're part of the Elden lineage now. This shall be
Yeah.
handed down. You know what I mean?
That's
All
what's
right.
up.
All right, we good?
Good, man.
How we feeling? All right.
I feel good,
Oh,
man.
I'm getting low. Okay, all right, y'all. Subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about this, and also don't take anything that's taken personal. Oh, hold on. Don't take anything personal, because we're not super knowledgeable about the woman stuff. The woman stuff.
Why do you have to?
The Roe versus Wade.
I mean, listen, but that's why.
I mean, because I know a lot of
research. You know
right.
what I mean, like, so
and
People are gonna take what you said personally, if anything. You do it your own.
You!
hey, don't
Don't
forget
look
who
at me.
edited into the video. So let's not get it twisted. You know what I mean?
Mel gonna make
A whole section gonna be
wait a minute. Well, Mel, you didn't say anything.
anything.
you're like, man, he's pretty quiet.
Nah, man, we have our own viewpoints, and also, I mean, Mel is very interesting in the way that he thinks.
Hold on.
But he's
Hold
not-
on. That makes me sound. Hey, yo, he's a very interesting. He thinks very. He's trying to call me special. That's what he.
It's no, but if someone doesn't get you, that's like the other. That's like
They'll take offense to it.
They don't understand what you're saying, and it makes it seem like you don't care, but you do care.
I
but
care about things, but I
Right.
don't care about
you
whatever.
You
this,
care about women, right? You care about women's
Care about
rights, like you
humans.
care, right? There, you're right.
All
But
lives
what
matter.
you don't care about is all this extra. The when people get all up in arms and it's like this doesn't even affect all the extra, like that causes the men hating, like. All that extra, you're like, I don't want anything to do with that.
It's
And
like,
then-
yo, I'm ready to go to the game, but I'm good without the pep rally.
and I think
You know what I
that,
mean?
and I think that sometimes it can, maybe it's not.
It is what it
distinguishable
is. It's gonna be
sometimes.
what it is. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to appease anyone.
Okay, well then let's not put the disclaimers. If people get upset, they get upset. Like
No,
if
it's
you,
not about the
if you
disclaimer,
know,
it's
he
just
was
about
putting the
making it
disclaimer on
clear.
there.
No, I'm saying that because I am not super knowledgeable about it. So I'm not speaking from a point of view like, hey, I've well researched this.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it broadly.
Just
So
how I feel, and here it is.
yeah, so that's the only reason why
I think it's okay for people to get upset. I think that if but the thing is, you need to have a respectful discord. That's what I ask
Yeah.
for. Please agree, get upset, have respectful discord. That's
True-
it.
true that, true
because
that, true
that's
that.
how you learn.
I'm definitely okay with someone
Anytime
disagreeing.
somebody is going to disagree and it's a touchy subject for them, there's going to be emotions attached. So to say don't get upset, I don't think that's realistic, but just be respectful in your discord with people. That's
And
it.
teach, educate. Like, that's it. Like, hey, I don't agree with that. Here's why. And we're very open-minded people. Like, when I receive new information, I say, oh, okay. And I adjust. Like, I'll change my view on something.
And that's because you're an open-minded individual.
Right.
A lot of humans on this planet are not open-minded.
That's true.
They're
I will not change my stance on unhealthy modern medicine.
Said Mark Cuban.
I
He said,
don't
ain't
have an
changing my
open stance on that. Now, if you change it to where now the medicine is actually beneficial, because they could do that.
Yeah.
They really could.
Like, actually, like, give supplements or, like whole food supplements or
Yeah.
or give access to certain things.
Yes,
Like,
they could create supplements that actually aid people.
yeah.
They could do that,
Yeah,
but
they
they
don't do
choose
that.
not
Everything
to.
is drugs. There's none of this stuff is natural. They're all drugs.
It's right. Well, you're right. There's a whole culture around that, but
yeah.
All right. Well, we will see you all next time. You all take care. Was it 4th of July coming up pretty soon?
Yeah, man,
so
4th of July.
so for those who celebrate,
I don't celebrate 4th of July. I don't. Why? Do you
this
celebrate
year?
4th of July?
This year? Oh, bro, 4th of July is. I mean, I don't know if. I mean, people gonna celebrate.
4th of
that.
July is canceled.
4th of July is canceled. Independence Day. Y'all feel independent?
we got Juneteenth.
Oh, come on. All right, that's it.
All right, but yeah, man. Chris James, Stephen Michael, Animated Mel. Peace and love. We'll see you next time.
Peace.